Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Caesar here. Today I'm going to be making a video that has been requested a few times in my comments. Every time that I start a new series and I do a note run and things like that, people are always asking me, to make a video on how to get started. So I'm going to show you guys. The only thing that I've adjusted on this server is the XP multiplier to 3 times, so it'll be similar to what you would get on small tribes, because I'm not going to go into creative mode or anything. I'm just going to show you guys how to do this in normal, vanilla Ark, so that way if I get killed by something, then you'll understand, what to do to avoid that. So the very first thing that I would do, I don't care if you want to choose male or female, you got to take your character, you got to make them whatever color you want. I usually go with black because it blends into the environment. I drag all my sliders to the left. You want to make it as small as humanly possible. Now, this does limit creativity, but what this does is make your hitbox the smallest hitbox possible, because the character model and the hitbox are actually tied together. So if your character is this big versus the default size, you're going to be about half as easy to hit, so they're going to miss a lot more of their shots. Unless they're Kishko, then they're going to 1-beam you, so it doesn't really matter. And also, if you look at the male character and his stature versus the female character, the female's still smaller, so I always go with a female. Name your survivor something cheeky, like New Alpha. And what you're going to want to do is spawn West Zone 2. So you want to spawn West Zone 2 every time that you're starting out on the island. I don't care which note run you're doing. If you're doing the one that I do, if you're doing the one that Chase does, doesn't matter. You want to spawn West Zone 2. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to run over to this node here. I'm going to show you guys unedited where this node is, and I'll show you where all of them are. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, guys, but I mean, this is exactly what you need to do to get started. Now keep in mind, once you hit level 39, or is it 36, I believe? One of the two. Let me check. 38, okay. Once you hit level 38, I would recommend going over to Ragnarok if you are in a cluster that has Ragnarok to tame a PT. Just don't get the 4 times notes if you're going to do that. For this purpose, for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to, so I'm just going to force tame a PT. So what I'm going to do is you grab that first note and then you want to head down this way. All your points that you get, you're going to want to put into move speed for now. So you want to put your move speed at least to like 140, 150 something, depending on what the rates are on the server that you're on. If you're on vanilla, I would go minimum guys, like no less than 131. If you go 131, you can outrun everything but a Giga, and if you run into a Giga while you're doing this note run, then you've really strayed off course, and I don't really know what to tell you. So grab yourself some water, and then you're going to come over here to the Quetzal note. Grab that one. Now, alternatively, you could go for the 4 times I'm about to show you guys straight away, but I personally like to grab a couple of notes so that I'm not super sluggish, and then go from there. So you're going to want to backtrack right back up. There are commonly alpha raptors in this area, so make sure that you have all of your stamina before you proceed, and then just zip on past the guy. He's stuck on a body anyway, so it doesn't really look like it matters all that much. Now keep in mind, if you are doing this note run at night, there are Trodons in this area, so I would probably just wait until day to continue, because it's not worth losing your 4 times or your XP multiplier just to get this done a little quicker. Now you can build to get up here, but oh wait, no, we're not even doing this note yet. What am I talking about? We're gonna do the 4 times first. Easy clap. So you go over here, and you may remember from one of my videos, I botched the jump here and killed myself. You don't want to do that. Where is it at? Is it, yeah, a little farther down still. There it is. So what you're going to do is just ever so slightly inch yourself off. Easy. Grab that. Again, make sure that you have all of your stamina. and then jump off. So for some reason it's giving me quadruple XP on every note that I find. I'm not sure what the problem is with that, but just keep that in mind, guys. I'm going to show you every note that I normally hit, which gets me to around, I think it's like 65, 67, maybe a little bit higher, and that's even on like, you know, 2 times rates. So I don't know where this is going to end up putting me, because I'm getting quadruple XP off every single note, but just keep that in mind, guys, that the levels that I'm getting are a little bit skewed because of that. I just noticed. Like I said, you can build to get up here, or you can just try and jump it. I believe there's an angle that you can actually get onto there. Yeah, if you just time the jump right. There's another note up top, so you want to make sure that you grab that. Just come over here to this rock. Jump down. There's a note here. Yeah, see, I don't know. It's giving me quadruple XP every time. So I'm going to go even higher move speed, and then I'm going to give myself a little bit of HP. I would always give yourself like 200 HP to start, and then usually I go up to like 350, 400. By the way, guys, if you're new to Ark and you're playing in the PvP, the only things worth leveling in the entire game, in my opinion, are health, weight, movement speed, and I think that's it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that maybe a little bit of oxygen or a little bit of fortitude. And when I mean a little bit, I mean 1 to 2 levels in each. Just fast enough in the oxygen department to make it to where you can outspeed people in water, or a tiny bit in fortitude to make sure that you can win if somebody tries to punch you out or something. But even that is still like, I'm not sure. I normally go around 350, 400 health. I go around 350, 400 weight, and then I pump the rest into move speed. Do not pump stamina, it's not worth it. The more stamina you have, the longer it's going to take to regen, and movement speed is more valuable than stamina anyways. And then don't pump food or water, that's completely irrelevant. Crafting skill is only for when your character is mind wiped and you put all of your levels into crafting skill. And then fortitude is, again, unless you're on a boosted server that has like, you know, 10 points in fort, or, you know, 20 or whatever, something crazy per level, I wouldn't even put like more than 2 levels into that, because all it does is make it to where your food and water goes down slower, you are more resistant to whatever atmosphere you're in, and you wake up a little bit faster when knocked out. But if somebody knocks you out, they're not going to let you wake up anyways, guys. So weight, stamina, or not stamina, weight, HP, and movement speed are like the 3 main ones, and that's what you'll see most people using. Be careful on that jump. I was gonna wait a little bit longer, but I got impatient. I think I might have just knocked myself out. I'm not sure. Yeah, whatever, we'll be fine. Alright, so next place you're gonna want to go is right down here. I'm gonna turn my gamma up for a second because we're gonna go into the trees. It gets a little dark down there. Ooh, a little too bright. And get some water. So again, at this point, guys, I would be heading over to get myself some PT, but I don't know what the rates are like on whatever server you're on, and I don't know why it's giving me quadruple XP off every note. You could get quadruple XP off every note though that we've gotten so far if you got the 4 times first. So I'm gonna grab these last 3 that I grab here on this part, and then I'm gonna force tame a PT and show you guys the rest of the notes that I normally hit. Ordinarily, if you don't want to go off server and you don't want to tame a PT, I would just use a raft, but it's a little bit slower. So this way you can actually get things done a lot quicker. What you're going to want to look for here in the trees is you're going to look for this little monument, and then once you find it, you're going to want to go straight down the steps and forward, and just keep following that. Keep looking around. Make sure that you stay within the trees though, because it is within the trees. So if you start to come to the end of the trees, just move with the trees wherever they go. And keep looking around until you find another pillar, I believe, with a explorer note that's like a little ceramic jar. I might have already passed it, honestly. This one's a little bit of a pain to find, but normally if you're on a server that's been ran on a bit, this place will be a little bit more cleared out because people will have used the trees for resources and they haven't respawned. There we go, right there. So you grab this one, and then you're going to want to go straight up the hill. Again, make sure you stop and get your stamina when need be. 12 more levels. I'm going to go 5 into that, and let's get myself some weight. Make sure that when you're leveling up to get your character where you want it, that you do spread out your levels. I went to 140, just preference, but you know, you can go 131, put some points into weight, some points into HP, because if you have all points into HP, you're not going to be able to harvest anything, and it's going to make things harder for you in the long run. So come up here, grab this note, and at this point, this is when you'd want to get yourself a PT, or get a raft, or whatever the case may be. Me personally, I'm going to go ahead and get myself a PT, so I'm going to go ahead and pop up Force Tame. There we go, and we'll just Force Tame this thing. So once you have your PT, the next place that you're going to want to go is, now remember, I'm going to show you where the first note was so that you have a frame of reference. This thing has like no stats. I'm going to give it infinite stats, hold on. Remember, you will have to stop for stam, but I'm not going to because this video is going to be long enough as it is, guys. So here's the first note and where you got the 4 times and all that. From there, you're going to want to follow the beach. And now bear in mind, guys, I do know where a lot of these notes are, but I do not know where every single note is. This is just the personal note run that I use and how I get started on new characters. So if you see me passing up notes that you normally hit, make sure to roast me in the comments, but do keep that in mind. So you're going to want to come over here. This is like the next note that you're going to want to hit. You're going to land on it with your PT. Easy levels. Put them all into stam because you're a smart boy. Even though I don't have to worry about it, it's just good practice. And I'll give myself a little bit more weight. Then you're going to want to follow the coast here. Just keep a lookout into the trees, see if you can see any ruins or anything, because they're usually where the notes are. Like I said, I don't think there's any over here, but I don't know where every single note is, guys. I'm not perfect. There's a Titan. You're gonna want to kill that with your PT for easy levels. I'm just kidding. You're not me in green. You can't do that. Alright, so next one that you're gonna want to go for is over here. So make sure that you have enough stamina to get where you're going. You don't want to get caught by like Spinos or Sarcos or anything that's over here. Just fly straight up, look around, I think it's over here. Yep, right here. Grab this note. Now depending on how active the server that you're on is, the trees will be more cleared out. The more cleared out the trees are, the easier it's going to be to find notes. So keep that in mind as well. If you're on a very active island that's got a lot of buildings, it's going to make finding notes a lot easier. Now the next stop that you can make is right in here. This is an artifact cave. It's commonly built in on official servers, especially small tribes, so keep that in mind. Now for this purposes, guys, I don't want to have to do this a million times, so I'm going to give myself infinite stats. But basically, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you have stim berries in your hotbar. I only have 5, but you'll have more, because things can knock you out in here. And you're going to want to run through this cave to get the notes. So I'm going to gamma up so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to head down in here. It's very easy to die in here, guys. The RNOs can pretty much aimbot web you so you won't be able to move. The Titan boas can like 2 or 3 hit you so that you won't be able to like do anything because you'll be knocked out. And like you just saw, I just got mega rabies right off the bat. So if you're gonna go in here, what I'd recommend is that you you know, make sure that your move speed's really high and that you have a lot of stim berries. This is a lot more enemies in here than normal. I don't know why there's so many on my single player right now, but first note's right here anyways. Alright, so grab that first note, then you're going to keep going. This is where that move speed really helps, guys, like a lot. Because even though I'm webbed, I can still outrun most of this stuff. You got to keep in mind that you will need to get stamina at certain points, but if you're smart and you do it right, this is a really valuable place to go because you can get a lot of explorer notes. I think it's like 3 or maybe even 4 in here. And there's a few drops. I mean, you're not really going to get anything spectacular from them because they are lower tier cave drops, but you know, a 140 bow might actually be really handy for you if you're just starting out. I mean, it's better than the normal stuff that you'd have. You could go down here and try and get those drops, but as you can see, Sarcos are down there and they do not like that at all. So what you're going to want to do is aggro that little sucker out if there is one down there. And you're going to want to jump through here. So we're having a little bit of oxygen would come in handy as well. Me personally, I didn't pump any oxygen, so I'm just going to let them beat the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie, guys, if you do go in here, there's a very good chance of dying. So what I would do is I would set up a bed right outside, because at that point your explorer note or your 4x note's already gone, either through sheer time alone or through the fact that you've went to another server and came back. So you won't have to worry about losing that, and all you're going to lose is like your double XP. You can still get these notes, and even if you die, you can still get these notes, and you'll be able to just spawn right back outside and get on your PT and go on your way. So yeah, it's only, I guess it's only like 3 notes, but it's still worth, in my opinion. So we're gonna head back out, and I'll show you guys the rest of the notes that I usually hit along the southern coast. Alright, so directly from here is where I would go is Stonehenge. That's what I call it. I don't know if that's actually what it's called. It's called the Southern Islets, I guess. This is Stonehenge. If you've been playing Ark for a while, this is Stonehenge. Alright, so you want to go to Stonehenge. It's just straight south from that cave. And you're going to want to go backtrack a little ways into the trees here. And again, just keep your eyes out for a ruin. And there will be a lot less of these trees if you're on a server that has any life whatsoever. I've actually never seen this much greenery and trees and stuff ever coming here. So I don't know why it won't let me land. There we go. I'm gonna grab this and then head down here, back where I came from, and there's I think 3 more, maybe 4 more over here. So you're gonna want to come down this way. Where's it at? Over here? Yeah. There's one here. Then you want to follow here. Grab this one. And this one. And I believe there's one more. Not 100% sure. I believe there is. No, I guess I was wrong. I guess it's just the 3. Do keep in mind that for whatever reason this is still a very popular base location, so you will probably see a base here. Usually a raided one because it's very easy to raid, but people do tend to build there, so if you do run into an active base with turrets, just, you know, be leery and you should be fine. I don't know if there's one over here or not. I know I used to come over here all the time. I think I just came here to like get food and stuff, but I don't usually come here anymore, so I don't think there is. The next area that you're going to want to go is just down here along the coast. We're just going to follow the coast until it starts to go back inland a bit. I know there is one in this area. I don't know where, but I know there's one in here. I never can find it though. Whatever. So we're gonna follow the coast here until it starts to go back in. That's how we're gonna get to this note here, which is literally just off the beach. Gonna want to be careful you don't aggro any Therazinos. Grab that. And be on your way. Go across the water. Start heading down the coast towards Herbivore Island. This is just personally how I do it. I remember where this node is based on this drop here, because when we lived on Herbivore Island on Legacy Official, that was a scary drop because it meant people could pull out their stuff to raid us. Then you're going to want to come over here, follow these rocks, just keep following them. There's going to be a few little inlets into the side of the mountain. One of them is going to have a note. You're going to want to grab that and then double back and just go straight into the trees. Just keep your eyes peeled and you should see a ruin. This ruin here has another note. Grab that one. Then you're going to want to go up top. If you're on foot, then you just follow the natural progression up here. If you're on a bird, then you don't have to worry about that. And there's another note over this way. Down in the trees. Again, look for the ruins, guys. Not sure where the note actually is. Hold on. Where's the note? Am I blind? Have I just walked by it? Yeah, okay. I definitely whistled passive on that. I don't know why it's doing that, but Can you get over here? Thank you. Then once you have all those notes, you're going to want to go across the water. This used to be hard to do, getting the notes here. It used to be impossible to get any of the notes except for pretty much this one, but Herbivore Island's not really built on very much anymore. It used to be like a very like alpha spot, but then people realized, hey, it's actually really easy to raid here, so they don't do that anymore. So the first two notes are there and here. The third note is up here, right next to these two rocks, tucked away. And once you have all those notes, guys, let me show you here. I'm gonna be able to get myself up to let's see, let's do a couple of those, a couple more of those. I'm at 87 quote unquote, but that is with having a 4 times at all times, so take that in mind. Normally this gets you to around like 65-ish, but at this point this is when I would usually transfer off to whatever server I'm going to build on. If you're going to build on the island, then I guess this is the point that you would go and start heading towards, you know, metal spawns and things like that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much everything that I have to show you as far as how to get started on Ark on the island. You know, when you're trying to get a character for small tribes, whether it be for small tribes, for a boosted server, for official, whatever, you're going to want to do a note run. There's quite a few out there. This is just the one that I do. There's more notes in the area. There's a lot more notes across the map, usually up on mountains and high peaks and things that are very easy to find once you have a flyer. So keep that in mind if you want to continue to go and search for more, or if you want to go and look at another guide or a map that shows you where they are, then you can do that. This is just the specific note run that I take. Like I said, for some reason it gave me the 4 times at all times, so it ended up leveling me to 87, but ordinarily this gets me to around like 64, 65. Could be a little bit higher depending, but just depends if I craft rafts or not, and how many notes I hit while I have my 4 times. But it's definitely enough to get you where you need to be. Then once you have that, you just transfer to whatever server you want to go to, or you go to wherever you're going to build. But that's going to do it for this, guys. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and I'll make sure that I answer them. If you have any suggestions on any other videos that you'd like to see, any things that you need to know how to do on Ark, also put that down in the comments and I'll make sure to take the popular ones and make videos on those as well. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.